This conference will now be recorded.
Fine. So my request to everyone, so to log into the session 2 minutes or 5 minutes before it is okay. So not later after 5 minutes. So my session it will be started within 6 o'clock, so that I can give a grace time up to 6:05, so that I can be able to cover up with the concepts and whatever we have been promised to you people that we are going to cover up with, and we are going to do it on practical sessions also. So which you can be able to view it on the screen. I'll be sharing my screen. So and the recordings also will be provided to you people with the links, so you can be able to make use of it. And I require and my request to all the participants to please raise your questions then and there itself. One thing, so clarify it, and you have to practice with on the regular basis. I understand that you might be scheduled with multiple things, so I request at least you can be able to spend it half an hour a day, or 20 minutes also is okay initially, so that you can be able to implement what are the learnings you are going to do it in the session, so that you can be able to implement it and you can be able to come up with any doubts if you have it. Is that fine? And whenever I ask any questions, so either I may point out a person and I may ask the question, or any person can take the initiative and you can be able to answer up. So either you can be able to unmute yourself and you can tell me the answer, or if you are not compatible with the unmuting the mic and talking, so you can be able to put a chat. So the chat option it is available on your screen. So may I know that how many of them have been logged in through mobile? So please type it as yes on your chat box. Good. Okay. Fine. So is there any person who is logged in with the laptop? You can type it as LT. LT. Okay. So this says that as of now, no person have been logged in with your laptop. So everyone are using their mobiles. That's good. Fine. So if possible, try to make use of the laptop, so you can be able to get connected. And I may request you people, I can give a permission to you people, so that you can share your screen and you can be able to ask the live doubts, and you can be able to get solved with that particular questions or the situations you are into. Is that fine? So these are my requirements, which I sincerely expect you people that you will be making use of this sessions, what we are going to have it. So you have been informed that you are going to have a tally class, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how many of them have already been worked on tally? So you can tell me that me. You can type it as me, that you have been already worked in tally.
ಏನಾಗ್ತಿದ್ಯೋ ಏನು
Okay. So how many of them have been heard about Tally but not been worked on Tally till now? So you can type it as no. Okay, that's good, Chaitra. Thank you, Vidya, Emily, Puri, Ashwini, Razia, Jasmine, Radhika. Okay, that's nice. Good. So fine. So this shows that you're being new to this concept itself, so that it will be easy to me to understand that. So how to start with? Okay. So let me start with what do you mean by accounts? So we will also discuss a little bit of basics of accounts. So why we are going to talk about the basic of accounts? Because tally is a subject where you can be able to maintain with your accounts, finance, tax. So all these three combinations, including with the inventory also. So you will be talking about all these things so that it will be good to have a basement very strong with all this basic things. So what do you mean by accounts? So with your simple words, I don't want any definitions of any philosophers. What do you mean by accounting?
Recording transactions of a business in a systematic manner.
Very good. So is there anyone else? So thank you, Vidya. So is there anyone else can try it out? So what she said, it's correct. Is there anyone else can put it in any other words? That's fine. So recording the information, the transactions of a business in a systematic manner. Yes. So what is a systematic manner? So what are the informations we are going to record it in the books of accounts? So we say it as books of accounts. So when I'm going to record any information about the business, what are the basic things we should be able to have it in any business? What are the common things we have to account it in any type of business?
The
So let me
day-to-day
share with
transactions that takes
you.
place.
Yeah, day-to-day transactions. Commonly, what will happen in any business? Commonly, what will happen in any business?
Purchases and sales.
That's very good. Purchases and sales. Is there anything else? Is that only we purchase and only we sell it? Is there anything else also can be able to do it in the business?
Purchasing of assets.
That's good. Okay. Hope everyone are able to see my screen. So there are five important account types. So what are those? So what is the main thing you required when you start a business? What is the mandatory thing you should have it with you to start a business?
Cash,
Okay,
cash, sir.
good. So we call it as in this name. So tell me, have you heard about this?
Yes, sir.
Capital. So capital means money brought to start the business. So money, it can be in any forms. Either it could be in the cash or it could be through bank. Okay. So most of the time it will be as a cash. Let's assume it. So anything you bring it to start the business is considered as a capital. So when you say it as a capital, it depends again. So there are different types of capital names. So it can be called as owner's capital. So when do we call it as a owner capital? If the business has been run by the sole proprietor. So that means there is only one person who is going to be the owner. So the next type, partners capital. So why do we call it as partners capital? Because the business it has been run by a partnership. So that is when you have more than one person with starting of business. So then we are going to call it as a partnership business. Then there are people who are going to put their money into the business. So that we call it as a share capital. So when the company is going to be when the company is going to be run the or started the business by collecting the money from the public. Okay, so like this. So owner's capital, it will be called as when the business is been run by a sole proprietor. So one person. If the company is been, if the business has been run by the partners, so then it is called as a partners capital. If the business, if the money is being collected by the people and we are going to give the ownership to those people, so then we can call it as a share capital. So these are the types of capitals what we are going to come across. But the question is there any business without the capital? Can we start or run a business without a capital? So how many of them will say that it is possible? You can type it as yes. If you say it as no, you can type it as no. So is it business can be run without the capital? This is what my question is. Is there anyone? Yes. So that means there is no business without the capital. That means without capital, no business can be started with. Very good. Thanks for your responses. So these are the types of capitals what we are going to see with. The next thing is, thank you, Maria. The next one is, so after bringing the money to the business, so we should do some setups to start with the business. So we will buy the things for the purpose of business use. So anything we buy for the purpose of business use is called as assets. So what are the types of assets we have? So there are two types of assets. So one is fixed assets and current assets. So what is the difference between the fixed assets and current assets? Can anyone try? Either you can unmute yourself or you can put it in the chat. Okay, so let me put it. So as I said, asset means anything we buy it for the purpose of business use. So current assets means the asset value which will get changed, the value of an asset which will get changed within the year. So here the current means within the year. So the value of an asset which is going to get changed, so that is called as an current assets. The value which will be changed and it will be there for more than 1 year. So either that asset it is going to be there with us or it is not going to be there with us. So the value of an asset it is going to keep on changing within the periods. So the asset value which will change or which will be sold. So within the year it is called as an current assets. So the assets which is going to be there with us for the long duration for more than 1 year, and the value of the assets it will be keep on changing every year. So that we can consider it as an fixed assets. So once we are going to come to the fixed assets, there are two types. So can anyone try to tell me that what are the examples for current assets?
Cash,
Yeah, very good. Then what else, ma?
Stock.
That was correct. Current assets. So we can consider it as cash. Very good. So
Land and building.
I got it. Yes, ma. Go ahead. Go ahead. Can you repeat it once again?
Land and
Cash
machinery.
inventory. Sorry, ma. I couldn't hear you. So can you repeat it? Is it they are talking about the plant and machinery? Okay, land and building. So here the example for current assets is going to be cash inventory bank balance. So this inventory can also be called as closing stock. That means the stock in hand. So other name you can say it as stock in hand. That means what is left over in the inventory, we can call it as an asset. So why it is going to be called as a current asset means, can you just see that the value of the cash, is it going to get changed everyday basis or will it change it once in a year? The cash balance, will it be the same for the whole year and it will change only after 1 year? Can I keep the cash from the starting of the business time to 1 year without spending for anything else? Can I keep it just like that? Can I do the business in that way?
No, sir.
No. So cash inventory, that is a closing stock or the bank balance. So these cannot be the same value for the complete 1 year, and it will not get changed once in the year. It will be keep on changing on every period. Either it could be a day wise or it could be a week wise or at least it could be so for 15 days. So that otherwise if you are not getting the change in the values, that means you are not doing any business. right? So the value over here, it keeps on changing within the year. So this is considered as current assets. So fixed assets, there are two types here again. So one is tangible assets. So the example for this tangible assets, that means assets which can be seen, feel and touch. So example for this, we can take it land and building, plant and machinery,
Furniture, sir.
furniture, very good. So exam, etc. Whereas intangible assets means which cannot be seen or touched but felt.
Goodwill. Goodwill.
Yeah, go ahead, ma'am. There's goodwill, royalty, patent, copyrights, etc. So these are the examples of the intangible assets. Right? Is that everyone are clear till here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
sir.
good. Fine. So now we have seen the two important accounting types. One is capital is very important to start a business. Then after bringing the capital, we have to have an assets. So in the assets, we have two types. One is the fixed assets and current assets. So in the fixed assets, we have two types again, tangible assets and intangible assets. So after this, you are going to find it whether you are doing a business on what basis. There are two bases of accounts. So one is so we are going to do the cash basis and credit basis. Okay, so let me, instead of taking as two bases of accounts, I'll take it as two bases of transactions. So which will be more easier to remember. Two bases of transactions. So one is cash basis transactions and another one is credit basis transactions. So cash basis means when you are going to make the payment or if you are receiving the money from the parties immediately after the purchase or sales. So then it is understood it is a cash basis, cash and carry business. So is that every business we are going to do it in a cash and carry business?
No, sir.
No. So most of the business are going to be run on the credit basis. That means credit means which we are not going to pay it immediately, which we will pay it later, right? So when you are going to say that, so as we discussed, what are the things we do it in the business? One is purchase and another one is sales. So when I make a purchase, if it is a cash basis, my cash balance will come down, bank balance will come down. if I paid it immediately. Suppose if I'm going to do it on credit basis, that I'm supposed to pay it later. So what does that shows? So where does it shows? In what name it shows in my business that I am liable to pay to outside parties. So the next important accounting type is going to be liabilities. So liabilities means liable to pay to the outsiders. So how much we are supposed to pay it outside? See, even though if I show it that I have this much of cash, this much of bank balance, so I have to prove myself how do I am getting of this much of cash and this much of bank balance. Is that not you are going to have a no liability at all? So I cannot do the business. I can do the business even though if I have enough cash with me. So, but a real business person can do it a business only if they are going to have a good credibility. So tomorrow, if they are required with any money from the outsiders, I have to make sure that instead of showing that I have this much of balances, this much of assets, it can be considered as an security. But your credibility, it is going to be measured based on how did you, how, in what duration did you clear all the liabilities in the earlier uh, days or with the earlier periods. So the time taken, and have you paid it within the time period or did you pay it after the time period? If you are keep on paying everything on the late the after the due date, then no one is going to give a credential to you. No one is going to support with any kind of liabilities or any kind of a loans, debt. So this can be measured only based on your liabilities. So liabilities also it is one of the important accounting types. So there are two types of liabilities. So one type is called as a current liabilities. So that means liability should be cleared within 1 year. As I said, current means it's within 1 year. The other one is it is called as long-term liability. Liability will be paid after the year also. Okay. So these are the two types of liabilities which you will be able to come across in any business type. So the next thing is, till now we have been seeing that what do we do with the money? So suppose if there is a shortage of money, how do we do the business? Now, what is the primary thing we are supposed to bear it when you are running a business? If there is no business at all, but certain things you have to take care. So what is that we have to take care is that is called as the fourth important accounting type is expenses. So is there any business without the expenses? Please let me know. Can we run any business without the expenses?
No, sir.
Yes. So it is not possible to have no expenses. So if you see that even the purchase also it's an expenses. So it's called as a trade expenses. Okay. So what are the expenses we have to bear it? There are again here there are two types of expenses. One is direct expenses and another one is indirect expenses. So direct expenses means which is related to purchases. So what are the example we can take it for direct expenses means? So like for example, toll tax, wages, then any expenses which you are going to spend it at the time of purchases. So that can be considered the freight charges. So all these things you can be able to consider it as an direct expenses. But what is this indirect expenses means? Which is spent on daily basis. So such as general and administrative expenses. General and administrative expenses like salary, stationery, then rent, etc. Then another type of expenses it will be selling and distribution expenses. So at the time of sales, if there is any kind of expenses, if it is bad, that you can be able to put it in selling and distribution expenses. Then miscellaneous expenses, which does not comes under any of this, but still there is an expenses, then you can be able to consider as miscellaneous expenses. Okay, so these are the types of expenses which we are going to come across in any kind of business. Now the last important accounting types we are going to talk about is, so why do we do the business? What is the purpose of doing the business? Why we have to bear all these things? What we
earn
are going
To
profit.
make profits.
to make profit? Is there anything else? So that is also good, but right, it is half the answer I can say. Is there anyone can try it?
For an income.
Very good. So my next question is it income and profit both are same? Is it income and profit both are same? Yeah, my question was, is that income and profit both are same? Try to
No,
answer. Yeah,
no.
good. No. Okay. So what could be the difference, ma?
Income means the amount which we get from a business.
Okay, income is
The actual amount that we get.
that's fine. Good try. So income means whatever we earn. See, expenses means what we spend. Means it is going out of our hand. The money is going out of our hand. Income means it is what we earn. So is it everything what we earn is a profit? No. So whatever we earn minus the expenses to earn that money, what all the things I spend it, I have to subtract it with that. And if anything is left over, that means my income is more than the expenses, then I am going to be in the profit. If my income is, if my expenses is more than the income, even though if I'm earning 10 crores, but I'm spending 12 crores, that means I'm in loss, right? So income and profit, there is a lot of difference. So there is a lot of a gap of things it has to be filled up with. Okay. So income means what do you earn it? So what is my earnings in any business? How do I earn the money in my business? So how do I earn the money in the business?
By making sales.
Very good. So sales is the only direct income what we are going to have. And if you are earning anything else apart from through the sales, then they are called as indirect incomes. Yeah. So apart from sales like commission, rent received, interest received. So all these things are considered as an indirect income. Okay. So these are the things what you are supposed to record the information in your books of accounts. So can everyone can be able to see my screen, right? Is it visible and you are able to see the font size? Is it okay, or should I increase it so that you can be able to easily see the content?
We can see it, sir.
Okay, fine. So have a look on each and every point over here, and please let me know that is there anything else we should add it. This also be considered as an accounting type. So if you have an idea, please put it. As a business person, what are the things we have to consider to record the information in my books of accounts? So these are the 5 things which have been brought.
Excuse me, sir.
Is there anything?
So does equity come under an account type?
Okay. So apart from this five, if we are going to have it, then it will be a part of any one of this. Yeah, yeah, go ahead, go ahead. Can you repeat it? Who was that? Please repeat it, your question or answer.
So does equity come under accounting types?
What was that? What was that? You spelled it.
Equity, sir.
Because the first word I'm not able to. Equity. You're talking
Yes,
about
sir.
equity shares, sir. Is that you're asking about the equity shares, ma?
Yes, sir. My question was if equity was an accounting type.
Yeah, it is there in the capital. So it will be a part of capital.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So as I mentioned over here, there are three types of businesses. So that is a sole proprietorship business, partnership business, or public company. So one person cannot have all these things in same business. So either any one of it. So either they can be a sole proprietor or they can be able to run a business with a partnership or they have to collect the money from the public. Okay, when it comes to this share capital, so here it will be divided into different parts, equity share, preference shares. So like that it will be. Okay,
Yes, sir.
yes, that's good. So I request the people who have been logged into the session, please log in with your own names. Okay, so because your attendance will be marked based on your names, what you have it. If anyone has been logged in with others' names or with any different name, okay, so please make sure that you can be able to rename yourself. You can see it there in the go to meeting screen. Wherever your name is there on that, there is a three dots where you can be able to get an option for renaming. Okay, please rename it with your own names so that you'll be able to get the attendance so that you'll not have any kind of a issue at the end of the course. Fine, so that you'll not be having any kind of a shortage and there will be no kind of problems are created at the time of taking exams or anything. Okay, it's a sincere request to everyone. That's fine. Okay, so now these are all the five important accounting types which you have to take care. So you should be very strong with these things. Okay, and I'll be sharing this document, whatever we discuss in the session. So I'll be sharing it in the group. So please follow with that so that if you have any kind of questions, you can be able to raise it by having the documents also. Fine. So the next thing is, so after knowing that what are the important accounting types, so let me know what are the process of maintaining the accounts. So accounting process. So how do we record the information? So how do we prepare the reports? So what are the process we are going to come across? We are going to see over here. Okay, so the first process it is going to be recording journal entry or journalize the transactions. So we will record the transactions. So when we are going to journalize the transactions, we are going to have two types of systems. So accounting systems we have it. What are those two accounting systems? Means one is single entry system and another one is
Double entry system.
double entry system. So which system we are following it as of now? Is it single entry system or double entry system?
Double entry system.
Double entry system. So what does this double entry system will say? That how to record the information. So double entry system, you have to record it in two information, two ledger accounts to be brought in the entry. Minimum two ledger accounts. You have to specify it in the transaction. So ledger means it is a giving a name of that event what has happened in that transactions. So debit and credit. So you have to debit something and credit something. So when you are going to do this debit or credit, on what basis you are going to say that this ledger account it is going to be debited, this account has to be credited? So just think and tell me. So what is that we are going to implement it to say that the particular ledger account has to be debited, the particular account has to be credited, based on what we are going to record the transaction, record the journal entries. So after journalizing the transactions, we are going to do it. Prepare the ledger accounts. So we are going to record all the transactions. So whatever the transactions we are been passed, so then we will take it individual ledger accounts, and we will see that in the particular ledger accounts has been used in what all the transactions, so that what are the values you are going to get it. So we are going to bifurcate it. So how much the debit balance, how much the credit balance, and we are going to see that how much balances we have it. Okay. So after prepare the ledger accounts, then we are going to prepare the trial balance. So trial balance means it is a list of all ledger accounts. List of all ledger accounts with closing balances. So that is final balances. What are the balances it has? The next preparation of final accounts reports. So what are the final account reports? So we will prepare it trading account and profit and loss account. Then we will prepare with balance sheet. Okay, so these are the process we will follow with. So now in this I have to So record transactions. Record transactions on basis of golden rules of accounts. Can anyone remember? At
Debit the
least try,
receiver, credit the giver.
even though if it is also not. So record all golden rules of account. Even though if it is a wrong also, that's okay. But please try. Can you repeat it once again, ma'am? I'm not able to hear you.
Debit the receiver and credit the giver.
Okay, debit the receiver, credit the giver. Very good.
Debit all expenses and losses, credit all incomes and gains.
Very good.
Debit what comes
So
in,
two.
credit
Debit
what
what comes
goes
in,
out.
credit what goes out.
Very good. Thank you all who have responded and who tried it. Okay, that's nice. So we have a names for all these rules. So the rule is personal rule, personal account rule, so which says debit the receiver and credit the giver. So debit the receiver, credit the giver. So when do we apply this rule? Is it on all the transactions we can apply? No, it is not possible. So when we are going to apply the rule means if the ledger accounts relates to capital account, comma, party ledger account. So party ledger is nothing but person. Either natural person or artificial person. So what is this natural person? What is this artificial person means? So person who is going to be introduced in the transactions as a party, the person name. So for example, my name is Lokesh. If you people are going to pass a transaction on my name, person's name, then it is a then it is a natural person. So if I say that you make the payment, if you do the transaction, please record it in my own name. So then it is a natural person. Artificial person means if I am going to get introduced to your business as a company, as an institution, as an organization. So in such case, I'm going to be an artificial person. Okay. Even bank also is considered as an artificial person because that is one financial institution. So for that reason, so whenever you are going to have a ledger accounts related to the party, then you can apply the rule of personal account rule. That is debit the receiver, credit the giver. Okay. Now, hope everyone have understood with the personal account rule. Is there any doubt? Please let me know. So shall I move on to the next rules? Please type it as move on. Thank you, Emily. Yes. So the next rule is real account rule. So what does the real account rule says? So it says debit what comes in, then credit what goes out. So this is going to be related to what? So ledger accounts related to assets. So anything related to the assets, ledger accounts, so that will be used as an real account rule. So I think we have also discussed about what all the things comes under assets. So all those ledgers, it is going to come under real account rule. Then the next rule, it is going to be related to nominal account rule. Debit all expenses or losses, credit all incomes and gains. So as we know that the rule itself, it says the ledger accounts related to all the expenses or the incomes or to the losses or to the gains. So all these ledger accounts, it has to be recorded as per the rule of nominal account rule. Okay. So these are the golden rules of accounts. So I'll give you a few of the transactions. So, and I'll give you a 5 minutes of time also. Please go through with all the transactions, which I will put it in my screen now. So please let me know the answer on that. Okay. I'll just put the transactions over here now. Okay. So hope you people are able to see my screen. So I'll keep it like this. Please have a look and please give me the answer for all these things. I'll give a break of 5 minutes. So we will meet up at 7:20. Is that fine? So keep ready with your
Yes.
answers. Thank you all for your being online. So is there anyone ready to answer for all this? Okay, I have received it as a cash account debit. Gauri, can you go ahead? See, for every transaction, there should be minimum of 2 ledger accounts. So one has to be debited, one has to be credited. So cash account debit to capital account. So on what basis? Gauri, can you unmute yourself and let me know the answer? No worries, either you are correct or wrong. That is secondary. Thanks for attempting. Gauri, can you try it now?
Yeah, actually, Rajesh has started his business with cash, with like
Okay.
10 lakh in the name of Rajesh Trader.
So when we are going to start a business, so it is going to be with the capital amount only. So that capital can be in any form. So most of the time it is in the form of cash. So when it is in the form of bank, then we will have some reference information about the bank. If not bank, if it is a cash, then there will be no word of cash, or it will not be, sometimes it will be there as a word of cash also. But if the value is involved over there, something is coming in, something is going out, which is the money. So then it is considered it is a cash money only. Okay. So now, why it has to be debited? Why capital has to be credited? On what rule basis? Can anyone try?
Real account?
It is on the base of real account. Okay. So here, yeah. So let me take it. So I'll just try to explain you. It might be taking out, yeah. So that's okay, Gauri. So we will just try. So I'll try to explain you people that how easily you can be able to find it, whether the transaction, in that transaction the ledger account has to be debited or credited. So in my own way of making you people understanding with this. So you make a 4 column of data. So where the first column should talk about the ledgers. So what are the ledgers? Then second column, it is going to be related to what kind of account type. Then third column, it has to talk about which rule is applicable. And finally, you're going to say whether is it going to be debited or credited. Okay. So you should know that how many ledgers are involved in this transaction. So in this transaction, there is a 2 minimum ledgers. So one was cash account and another one was capital account. So hope everyone agrees with this. So is there any other ledger apart from these two ledgers for this transaction? So the money which comes in the start of the business is called as capital, and that capital is coming in the form of cash. So these are the two ledgers. So now account type. So account type, so which I have given that 5 accounting types. So the ledger account, it relates to which account type? So I say cash account is an assets. Is it right? Whether the cash account comes under the assets? Yes, good. The next, capital account. So out of that 5 important accounting types, capital account is one of it. Okay, and this capital, so now the rule we have to apply. So if it is a assets, the ledger is related to assets. Which rule it is going to get connected? Is it personal rule or real or nominal? Which rule is going to get applied? Very good. It is a real account rule. Okay. Then capital, which rule? Is it personal, real or nominal? Which rule gets applied? Can anyone try? Nominal. So is it a capital? If you say it as nominal, so nominal says debit all expenses or losses, credit all income or gains. Is it capital is expenses or a person? Yes, good. It's a personal. Okay. So try to connect it like this. Okay. Now here itself you just specify that. So now if it is a real means, is it in or out? So cash is coming in or is going out? In. Very good. So suppose if it is a personal account, whether is it a receiver or a giver? So here the capital is in the form of owner. So whether this owner is a receiver or a giver to the business. Whether, see, how do I choose it? Whether the receiver or giver means, receiver means the person who receives the benefit from the business. Giver means who gives the benefit to the business. So Gauri says giver. Is there anyone else can try to answer? Is this person is a giver of the benefit to the business or receiver of the benefit from the business? Is there anyone else who can answer me? Is the owner is the giver of the benefit or receiver of the benefit? I need one more person's answer. I am waiting. Thank you, Gauri. See, either it is a correct or wrong. I want a participation. Let it be interactive session. So it should not be one way. So that I'm going to just come and say whatever I wanted. So either you listen or not. So that should not be there. So I want the people to get interactive. Thank you, Niharika. Yes, that's good. So this person is a giver. Okay. So now you tell me if it is a real account in. So whether it has to be debited or credited as per the real account rule. Very good. It is debited. At the same time, as a giver, the personal account rule says as a giver, so it is credit. Yes. Okay. So now you can be able to prepare the transaction based on this. Okay. So now the transaction will be cash account, debit. So the value is going to be 10 lakhs to capital account. So 10 lakhs. Okay. So the transaction, it has to be like this. So I want you people to try it until and unless, because as we came across that some of them are non-accounts people also. Hope you people find it easy to identify the answers. So try to apply this kind of a table for yourself to understand. So try to do this workings so that it will be easy for you people to understand the concepts. Is that fine? Okay. So let me prepare the table for the next question. So here there will be changes. So what are the changes we will have it? So what are the accounts we are supposed to take it over here in this? What are the ledger accounts are going to be used? Good, bank account and cash account. So here I'll take it as cash account. And when you are saying about bank account, you should be very careful and be specific with which bank are you doing the transactions. Okay, so please take the bank name. Okay, so it will not be a confusion to you, so that the accounts, the values are going to show in the respective ledger accounts properly. Is that fine? Okay, so now cash account, as we know that it is going to be related to assets, and SDFC bank account also it is an assets. And even though it is an assets, it is also considered that as an artificial person. Okay, so bank is also considered as an artificial person. So now if this is assets, the accounting rule is real account rule. And is it coming in or going out? So it is going out of the business. Good. So if it is going out, then it is debited or credited. Very good. So it is going to be credited. So now let us come to the SDFC bank. If it is an assets, then it is a real account rule is applied, and for the bank it is coming in. If you consider it as an artificial person, then you are going to apply the personal account rule, and you are going to consider this person as a receiver of the benefit. So he receives the money. Okay, so for that reason, when it is real account in or personal account receiver, on both the cases it is going to be debited. So finally the transaction it is going to be SDFC bank account debited with the value of 1 lakh, and to cash account of 1 lakh again. Okay, so this is how the transactions has to be passed. So now the next transaction. So let me remove all this. So now go ahead. What are the ledger accounts we have to consider it over here? So what are the ledger accounts to be considered in this transaction? anyone try in this? Cash account and SR computers account. Good try, Chaitra, but slightly something else. Gauri computer account and SR computer account. Good. Is there anyone else? Okay, so let me not drag it. So I'll just take it as a important notes. So what is that important notes is? So you are going to say that when there is purchases or sales, need to identify whether is it a cash basis or credit basis. If cash basis, then cash account has to be taken with purchase or sales or assets account. If credit basis, then party creditor account in case of purchase or party debtor account in case of sales. Okay, let me put it like this. In case of credit purchase, okay, anyway, it is already given as credit basis. Yeah. So like this. Okay. So like this, you are supposed to identify that whether this purchase entry is it of credit basis or cash basis. So can you tell me whether this purchase entry is it a credit basis or cash basis? Anyone? Can anyone try to identify whether this entry is it an cash basis or credit basis? Cash basis. Okay. So how to identify is it a cash basis or credit basis? The next important accounting type, sorry, important notes is if the entry is cash basis, then either it should contain a word of cash, if not available, if not available, then there should be, there should not be with party name. So if the entry is cash basis, then either it should contain a word of cash. If not available, then there should be, then there should not be with party name in that, in the transaction. So do we have a party name in the transaction? If party name is available but no word of cash, then it is credit basis. Okay, so now can you recheck once again and tell me, Chaitra or any of the friends, whether is it a purchase entry is a cash basis or credit basis? Do we find a word of cash in the transaction? Purchased computer for business use for rupees 50,000 from SR Computers. Is there anyone else can let me know that is it a cash basis or credit basis? Okay, so I'll just take it. The computer account, then SR Computers. Since there is no word of cash, suppose if there was a party name and also there was a word of cash, then we can take as a cash account only because the cash is moving there. When there is no word of cash, only there is a party name, then it is understood that this is a credit transaction. Okay, so I'll just put it over here for your reference. Credit purchase. The next, the computer account is related as assets. So computer is being purchased for the purpose of business use. So anything you buy it for the purpose of business use is considered as an assets. Then which rule is applicable? It is real account rule, and it is in. That means it is coming inside the business. So it should be debited. The next, SR computers, it is considered as an party. So that is nothing but he is coming under sundry creditors, because we are purchasing from this party on credit basis. The person who gives a credit to business is considered as an sundry creditors. So this will apply with personal rule, and so he is a giver of the benefit to my business. So he is giver. So it should be credited. So finally the transaction will be computer account debit, computer account debit, the value is 50,000, and SR computers account is 50,000. So this is how the entry it is. Okay. So I want you people to try with the further 3 transactions, and by the next class, keep it ready with your other 3 transactions. I may ask anyone, please try it and don't skip the class, because I may ask the questions. Hope you people have found it something easy way of understanding with accounts. Okay, so if in case of any kind of a doubt or any kind of things you want to share it regarding the class, you are open up. You can be able to share this through our WhatsApp group. Is that fine? Okay, so hope you people have benefited with the class. So can I get any response from you people? Is that the way of approach, is it okay? Is there anything you want to get changed with? Are you people are able to understand? Okay, fine. I'll just leave for the day. So thank you all for attending for today's class. We'll meet you on tomorrow. Thank you for the responses. So I'll share this document. Yeah, thank you all.